Hello, I'm Adam Pacitti, and you're listening to Ringmasters. You love it.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another fantastic episode of Ringmasters. I am Chad, and joining me, as always, is my Luke Harper and Eric Rowan.
My name is Austin. That took you a while.
Yeah, I was running out of time. I didn't want to do Kevin Owens and Sammy because we do that all the time. I wanted to mix it up a little, and for some reason...
You could easily have just done Chris Jericho to your Kevin Owens because, you know, Kevin Owens teams with a lot of people.
There we go. I could have.
And I feel like Chris Jericho right now...
And you're wearing a scarf this week, so you could have been Jericho.
Mount Pleasant, Michigan has got me all kinds of fucked up right now. It is unbelievably freezing over the last couple days. It's feeling like December.
Yeah, it's very cold. But you know what wasn't cold? These episodes of Raw and SmackDown this week.
I would say they were cold, honestly. Besides a couple specific moments of both shows, I would say both of these shows were rather cold.
Oh man.
I maybe you have a different opinion on this, but I felt like these Raw and SmackDowns were not nearly as strong as, especially SmackDown with going into about a week and a half away from Clash of Champions.
Yeah, for a pay-per-view that's like a week or two away, it wasn't as good as it could have been. But,
not at all.
I mean, a couple things from both shows made it worth it for me. But we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, because once again, Monday Night Raw this week opened with yet another Authority promo, because of course it does. Kurt Angle starts talking about whatever he wants to talk about, and Jason Jordan comes out to interrupt his dad. The crowd was just destroying Jordan.
Yeah.
It's just like, I mean, he's fucked. Beyond fucked.
There's no way he doesn't turn heel, right? Like, there's no way they're not going to make him heel.
I feel like the writing's on the wall right now, and I felt like with what happened during this show and how...
I think they were really starting to lay the groundwork for it.
I feel like it, yeah, because Jordan comes out, he says he wants a match with Roman Reigns, and Roman comes out to respond to that, saying, "I'm not fighting your son. Like, you can't just give your son a match with the Intercontinental Champion, no matter how much he drapes the damn thing over his shoulder and just like walks around like I got a belt on my back."
Yeah.
And then Roman Reigns says, "I don't want your son. I want Samoa Joe," and makes the quote that I loved: "If you want an opportunity, don't go running to your daddy." And then Jason Jordan starts saying, "You're the one talking about opportunities. You are the poster boy." It's like, and then Roman, with his ever so incredible amount of charisma, goes, "I am on a lot of posters.
I am on a lot of posters. The big dog."
That doesn't, like... Yeah, so dodges the whole legitimate thing, like you were the poster boy for what WWE wants. And he's just like, "Yeah, I'm on posters. There's one of me now." It's just like, Roman still, like, no matter how much they start pushing Roman in the right direction of what he needs to say, almost every month, like at least once a month, he'll say something unbelievably stupid.
To be honest, there's really no reason to ever have him talk, especially since he's with the Shield now. Like, they could have just as easily have had the entire Shield come out for this and have Rollins be like, "Listen, you don't get a match with the big dog unless you earn it." Like, and he would have, and there would have been no booze. Roman wouldn't have died on a promo.
At this, yeah.
And then he literally just needs to like crack his knuckles, look intimidating, talk when he needs to.
Yeah, but at this point right now, I feel like I don't think the WWE wants to rely on the fact that they need the Shield in order for Roman to get cheered.
But I feel like they do.
That's the thing, they do, but they don't want to make it seem like that.
Yeah.
They want it to seem like Roman is his own man with or without the Shield, but he's not.
Yeah.
So, and also having Seth and Dean come with Roman to face off against Jason Jordan, it's not needed.
Yeah, well, I don't think they should have came down with him to do the match, but I think they definitely should have had him come out with these promos. Because, like, what's the point of bringing the Shield up and having them back together if it's still just Roman doing his own thing and Rollins and Ambrose just continuing to feud with Sheamus and Cesaro? You know,
and that's the thing, though, is that like they're not doing faction feuds right now because there's not really a legitimate faction they can feud with unless they want to try with Absolution if they're feeling up for it.
The Shield versus Absolution.
Book it now. But no, there's not really. See, there's no real feuds that they can do as a faction. So having them split off and go their own separate ways while still remaining part of this faction, with Roman holding a singles title and Seth and Dean going for the tag titles. I mean, that's kind of what it was before, like, the Wyatts and before Evolution. Like, that's what they were, because Dean held the U.S. title while Roman and Seth held the tag titles. So I think it's just going back to old things for them, so I don't think there's really any need to change that. But continuing with this opening segment, Samoa Joe then comes out, accepts Roman Reigns' challenge, and Jason Jordan gets all pissed off and hits a belly-to-belly to Roman Reigns. Kurt, visibly upset, pushes Jordan away, and then Roman Reigns says, Joe, you can wait. Jason Jordan, I want you now because you think you're hot shit.
You're gonna step up against the big dog.
And then the match is made. Opening matchup is Jason Jordan versus Roman Reigns for the Intercontinental Championship.
20 minutes and 33 seconds.
Yeah, that was what I saw for a majority of Monday Night Raw this week, was that the matches were long.
Yeah.
Like, this one had, I think, 3 commercial breaks in it.
Yeah, and it was a good match. I kind of thought it was going to be good because, I mean, Roman's a good wrestler, even though it pains me to say. And Jason Jordan is, he's a good wrestler too. I mean, neither one of them are just over. But they put on a good match. I was happy with it.
Yeah, and I agree with. I think Roman's a good wrestler, is something that everyone needs to get over with and realize that he is. That's definitely a hot take that I will talk about in a future episode. But yeah, I think this match was pretty good. My only issue with this match was that Jordan, still having his left leg taped up and all that, did all these moves that you wouldn't be able to do with your injured leg. So it just made it just like Jordan not selling his injury that he quote unquote had. I did find it funny how Joe was just sitting on a chair at the top of the ramp watching.
Just watching. I love Samoa Joe.
Yeah, he doesn't even join the commentary guys. It's like, hey, there's an open seat here. It's like, no, I'm sitting over here.
I've got one issue with how Samoa Joe was booked on this one particular show in particular, but we will get to that when we get to the spot where...
Roman Reigns ends up retaining against Jason Jordan. Joe immediately comes down and attacks Roman Reigns, hits him with the Coquina clutch, but then Jordan suplexes Samoa Joe, and then starts like going at Joe like, my dad.
That sounds just like Jason Jordan.
It does. And then Roman Reigns Superman punches Jason Jordan, and then he's left all alone as the big dog standing by himself.
So here's my issue. You are in Los Angeles, California. That's Samoa Joe's stomping grounds. So I know, he's going to be the most over guy, like, probably on the show, to be honest. Like, it's Samoa Joe. He's already over. The fact that you're in his hometown, how do you not have Samoa Joe go on the high ground here? So he should have had Samoa Joe run out and just take them both out. Because, you have Jason Jordan, break up the clutch, which gets him booed because they hate Jason Jordan. And then I feel like, and they talked about this kind of on Dave Meltzer. They said that, it looked like they had Samoa Joe Superman punch Jason Jordan because Jason Jordan was so hated that Roman would get cheered, because that's always the goal. But I just don't see how that would work. Like, I don't know. These booking decisions floor me sometimes.
It's a huge, and this doesn't really go off with Joe, because I think Joe is fine with this. This is like a 1 week thing, and like when he gets his title shot against, I'm assuming, Roman, I imagine he'll win. I don't.
Samoa Joe as IC champ, I would love that.
I think that would be a good place for him to start, because they obviously don't have the authority figures to run around with him as a Universal Champion, which I'm assuming is what they want to do.
Yeah.
And then you could have Roman face him at WrestleMania or something, or SummerSlam for the Universal title, whatever it comes to. But my issue with this is the fact that this idea that we have that Roman is so terrible that we just have to put him up with someone that the audience hates even more just for him to get cheered. It's like what they did with Triple H when he went up against John Cena. Like, because Triple H was hated through a majority of the early 2000s to the mid 2000s, but once he starts feuding with John Cena, when he was when he was just getting hot as as their poster boy, that was like the reason why it's like Triple H is like, you suck, and then I remember like the wrestling isn't wrestling video Which, have you seen that video?
Yeah.
That's a video I think all wrestling fans need to see. It's just, hey, John Cena, you suck, and then everyone's like, oh yeah. This is exactly what they're trying to do with Roman. Like, hey, Jason Jordan, you suck, and then everyone's like, Roman Reigns.
But I feel like it's different though, because like, you know, that was Triple H, a guy who people like. It's like Triple H. Everyone loves Triple H. Even when he was a heel, you love Triple H. And he was saying, hey, John Cena, you suck. Who is a guy everyone hates because he's forced down our throats. We hate Jason Jordan because he's booked terribly. We would like, you know what I mean? Like we don't like Jason Jordan for totally different reasons why we don't like Roman Reigns. And so Roman Reigns being like, hey, Jason Jordan, you suck. We're like, yeah, but so do you. So we're gonna boo both of you. Like, it just hurts both of you.
Yeah, and I've been trying like to get off the bandwagon.
I really want to like Roman Reigns. I really want, especially since I know we're gonna be stuck with him. I want him to be booked well. I want him to walk into WrestleMania when he faces Brock. I want him to be over. I want me to be like, get him, Roman, because there have been moments where I've been like, oh man, Roman Reigns. Like,
I mean, again, I'm gonna continue with this when we start doing hot takes. That his first Royal Rumble he was in, like everyone wanted Roman, not Batista.
Yeah,
like that was the huge thing for that. But yeah, I think hopefully we'll get to that point though. But we cut backstage and Kurt Angle's on the phone with Stephanie trying to like calm things down. And then Jordan's just like, you have to give me a rematch with Roman Reigns. He's like, and I want Samoa Joe. You have to give me a rematch with Roman Reigns. But now I want Samoa Joe tonight. And I'm just like, man, you're sounding a lot like Christian with this one more match thing. Only it's even worse because you're sucking up to your dad. And then so Joe ends up attacking Jason Jordan backstage. And says, like father, like son, huh, Kurt?
Oh God! I popped.
And then there was an amazing, and then there was a funny tweet he did. He's like, Daddy, I'm getting bullied or something like that. Yeah. See, so even after that though, Joe looked great because he came back at Jordan and got him back.
He gets the high ground on multiple occasions. I just wish, I don't know. That was just my one criticism of that angle.
Yeah,
but.
No.
And I really think Jason Jordan demanding, you know, a rematch with Roman and then also saying he wants Samoa Joe and trying to throw his weight around and then Kurt Angle not giving it to him. I really think that is the seed.
Exactly.
Like that is going to start Jason Jordan's
It's like Jason Jordan, even though he's like he's an adult, is starting to get into his teenager I don't no, Dad, like you don't understand me.
Yeah, and
even though he's a freaking adult.
Yeah, and they should pull the trigger immediately. I'm always like long-term storytelling. No, this is the one instance where next week Jason Jordan turns on Kurt. It needs to happen.
It really does.
Like you needed to pull the trigger months ago.
Or at least keep it going until the next pay-per-view. I feel like, but the next pay-per-view for the Raw pay-per-view it's Royal Rumble, right?
Let's say, they're not getting a Raw pay-per-view till after the Rumble.
Yeah,
so
until
you
Roadblock.
have to pull the trigger.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, that's crazy.
Yeah, if you have to pull the trigger, and if you want to pull it off at Rumble, that's fine. Maybe have it so he's like, hey, Dad, you need to give me the 30th spot in the Rumble. You need to. I need to be number 30.
Oh yeah,
that'd be cool. That'd be cool if they use that.
Yeah, that would be a great spot. Like, hey, Dad, listen, I've done everything you asked of me. Now, all I ask in return is make me number 30.
And Kurt Angle's like, you know what, Jordan? No son of mine would ever want to take the shortcut. So you know what? You're getting the number 1 spot in the Rumble.
That would be legitimately awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I hope that happens now.
I think that would be a great moment too. And then just the crowd would pop at that, just to be like, "Fuck you, Jordan."
Jordan comes out at number 1 and have him go a long time till 25. And then have him get out. And then 25 hits, Kurt Angle's music as a surprise entrant and accidentally eliminates Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, you wanted me to take the short, to work for it, but you put yourself at 25?
Well, I mean, he put himself in the match, but I'm sure he drew a random number.
Yeah, that'd be, oh my God.
There's so much stuff you can do with this idea.
Ringmasters for WWE creators.
No, yeah. Oh, actually, one last thing I want to mention before we continue on to Monday Night Raw is, once again, I want to send out a massive, massive thank you to our guest last week, Adam Bacchidi.
Yes, absolutely.
It was an absolute blast to have him on. He was just a great, great guest. Just one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Legitimately, he's welcome back on the show anytime he likes. The door's always open for him, and that goes the same for the other members of Cultaholic, Jack, Sam, Ross. We'd love to have any of them on at any time.
Any of them or all of them.
Exactly, yeah. And if you are joining us after that episode, welcome, and we hope you enjoy your stay.
Yeah, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yes, the YouTube channel is officially up with all previous episodes of Ringmasters now available at your fingertips.
Yeah.
And we will soon eventually be producing even more content for the YouTube channel that we think you're going to really enjoy.
In a way, it's kind of like the WWE network. You know, you get an entire history of Ringmasters content, and it's not $9.99 a month, ladies and gentlemen. It is free. Hashtag better than network.
Oh my gosh.
And on that note, let's move to SmackDown.
No, let's not move to SmackDown.
Sorry,
let's move to
half of Raw.
Yeah, we got like 3/4 of Raw because fuck 3 hours.
Yeah.
We got Sasha Banks versus Paige. This is the first time in a year since Paige has wrestled like in an actual match for WWE. So we had Alexa Bliss on commentary because she had a reason to be out there. And Bayley and Mickie James were in the corner of Sasha while Mandy and Sonya were in the corner of Paige. Those four people end up completely going at each other, but Mickie and Bayley end up getting beat up. Sasha gets distracted and gets knocked out, and Absolution ends up coming out on top. And then they attack Sasha Banks after the match.
So let's see what's going to be the Absolution versus Sasha, Bayley, and Mickie at Rumble. Is that what we're looking at?
I'm assuming that's what we're looking at, but or perhaps they'll do like a 6-man tag. They'll do a 6-woman tag, and then it'll eventually lead to like the team leader of that team will get a shot at the women's championship. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like it's got to build to like an actual title match between like one of those people. I feel like Paige is your person to face Alexa Bliss at Royal Rumble.
Yep. Or unless they end up doing that women's Royal Rumble match that has been rumored.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're gonna end up doing that though.
I hope they do. I think that'd be awesome.
I do too, but I just don't know exactly how it will go over. I'm sure the fans will enjoy it, but I just don't know how it'll be booked in terms of a match.
I think it would be Asuka coming out at 1 and dominating everyone until it is over.
Yeah. Now, real quickly, I want to jump over to SmackDown because we have to talk about the Riot Squad comparatively, because at this point, these two teams are identical.
Yeah.
However, the Riot Squad has been treated or set up to look just the worst comparatively, because we had them come backstage and then they were like arguing with Lana, Tamina, and Carmella with Daniel Bryan. With Ruby being the only one that sounded legitimate in her complaints, with frickin' Sarah Logan sounding, you need subtitles, it feels like, to hear her. And then you have just these ridiculous, it didn't sound good. And then like when they had Tamina face off against Charlotte and they were outside the audience, they were outside at ringside, it was just like you had Tamina and Sarah Logan going at it and they had to be separated.
Yeah.
And it's like they don't look nearly as strong as they should be, just because of the fact that you're building these people up as this faction that's coming over and redefining the women's division on SmackDown, just like what's happening on Raw. But they're not doing nearly as much as quickly as Absolution are. And since they're so legitimately identical, of course they're going to be compared, and of course they're going to be considered the lower team out of the two.
And I think a big problem with it is I don't think Sarah Logan was ready for a call-up to the main roster. I don't know if Liv Morgan was ready for a call-up. Ruby Riott even. Like, I think Ruby Riott could do it, but I think the fact that she's with two people who aren't ready, it's bringing her down too.
My thing with that is just the fact that Ruby and Liv were so comfortable in their babyface positions that they had in NXT.
Yeah.
But what was more damaging, especially for Liv, was just the fact that you never really saw her on NXT.
Exactly, because now people see her, like, I could see the casual fan thinking she's just a Carmelo ripoff.
Could.
Like, she literally looks like you know what I mean? Like another version of Carmella.
Yeah, and it's just, this was what I was afraid of, because when you bring so many women onto the roster to try to like switch things up and try to like widen your division. Some of these people are gonna get left out of the shuffle if they're not given good stuff to work with, and if they're just bland, and that's what like they come off to me as. Sarah Logan comes off to me as incredibly stereotypical and just boring.
Yeah.
Because I don't see why she could be considered a threat. Liv Morgan, while I love her to death.
Yeah, I like Liv Morgan.
Because, I think is just coming off as bland because she's just that catty girl that you see on a lot of WWE characters. Like you could tell the casual fan that that this is Michelle McCool, and then they wouldn't bat an eye. I think it's like the same. It's the same character, and Ruby Riott is great as well. But I feel like she doesn't have the ability to do good heel stuff when the people that she's carrying around aren't really ready, in my opinion. And it's just and with Paige and Sonya and Mandy doing decent to good work on Raw, it just makes them look worse in comparison.
Even if you would have just called up Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan and put them with someone on the main roster and let them lead a stable. Like if you would have put Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan and put them with Carmella, or even if you put them with Natalya, like you could have had that heel faction, and there would have been that person who's filling Paige's role as a wrestler who is over, who can help put them over. Because right now, why Absolution is working better than the Riot Squad is because they've got Paige, they've got that person who everyone is a fan of, and she brings them up. Whereas now you have Ruby Riott, who is the most like over person in that stable, and even she, like isn't over. So
yeah, with the casual fans, because not a lot of people watch NXT as they used to.
Yeah,
I feel like that they should have formed this group in NXT.
I agree, and then
had them come up. I feel like having them come up on the exact same week and look so identical just hurts both teams in the long run. Worse more for Riot Squad than Absolution, because with Paige, Absolution will be doing fine.
Well, and Absolution went first. I feel like whichever one debuted first would have had that slight edge. Even
if Absolution debuted second, though, just because Paige is part of it is just the reason why it works more.
Right.
Again, no disrespect to Ruby Riott, because she is great, but
I'm rooting for her.
I'm rooting
for all of them.
I am. I want to see the women's division thrive with this ridiculous factions war that they're starting up.
Yeah, I just think if they brought up these two staples, like, because I am on the bandwagon of the Women's Royal Rumble. I think they are doing it, and I think that's why they brought all these people up. And if you're doing that so you can bring up these women, like, there are other ways you could do that than just putting two stables on the same week. You literally could have brought all three of these women up on SmackDown, literally individually, one after another, for the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Like Ruby Riott debuted. Oh, hey, look it. Now it's Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
Oh, look, Sarah Logan. Like, you could have brought these people up, kept them up, and had them do their own things instead. And even if
and then during the Rumble, then they could team up.
Yeah. And like, even if you brought those three people up, had them win, had them go over against, like Lana and like Tamina and like, people like that. And then you could have the welcoming community be like, we're losing our spot to these people. And then have them team up that way. It looks like it is naturally formed instead of, hey, look at this.
Yeah.
It's the stable that we formed.
You're completely right in that. Back on Monday Night Raw, we had two back-to-back backstage segments. One with Elias Sampson coming to Kurt Angle saying he wanted another shot at the Intercontinental Championship, wearing a Chris Stapleton shirt, may I add. That is an interesting thing, because like I think Chris Stapleton's an incredible artist, so I thought it was kind of funny just seeing him wear that shirt. Especially since my neighbors are obsessed with him.
Would you have popped harder if it was an Ed Sheeran t-shirt?
Are you fucking kidding me? Yes, I would. Yo, now you've got me started, all right? Now you've got me started on this stuff. Excuse pro wrestling for a second, but Ed Sheeran has been announced to be on Eminem's new album. Oh my God!
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
You can't. No, oh my God. I mean, yeah. Look what you've done right now. Do you see what you've done?
Well, let's
I can't control myself with this stuff. Like, I can't, because Ed Sheeran listened to Eminem when he was a kid, and that he had a stutter as a kid, and he learned the Marshall Mathers LP, and he got rid of the stutter, and now he's on a song with him. I'm so overly happy. Okay, back to pro wrestling. You can't do that. You can't just casually.
I'm sorry, everyone.
You don't understand.
I opened a can that we need to close. We will touch on this in the Ed Sheeran podcast coming soon.
Dude, I'll start that right now. I'm going to CM Life right now to talk about that. But yeah, so Elias Samson ends up coming out, and he's like, he wanted another shot at the Intercontinental Champion. It wasn't given to him, so he's just like, okay, well, I'm doing a show, though, so fuck you. Then we had Enzo Amore hyping up his Zo-Train for this second Fatal 4-Way to determine his opponent.
This was my second favorite angle of the show.
Oh, God, no.
I
No,
love
wait,
it.
let's see where it goes. Let's see if that's what I think you think. Because Nia Jax shows up smiling ever so creepily at Enzo Amore, and then just goes, "How you doing?"
Yo, I loved it.
No!
Listen, I love this whole thing. And here's why. You know, everyone's seeing Nia Jax getting demoted to 205 Live, where I don't see it that way. You look at what's going on with the women's roster right now, there's just no room for Nia. And I think at least they're not just keeping her in the back doing nothing. They're letting her do something, even if it's a funny thing with Enzo. I think this is going to be a really funny storyline, and I would love it if it gives if it lengthens Enzo's cruiserweight title run because he's got Nia Jax. How funny would it be if he's going against these cruiserweights and Enzo Amore like just uses Nia to like bully the cruiserweights? That would be so funny.
I'm about to sick the IWC on you right now because I don't agree with you at all.
I think it's a great idea. I think it's like a heel version of Glamorello with Santino and Beth. Only better. Like, can you imagine if he's like, I got the two most beautiful prizes in the WWE, my cruiserweight title and Nia Jax. How you doing? Like, they call themselves the realest couple in the room. I am so on board with this idea. I love it.
I think Nia Jax needs to get out of this right now.
I think she needs to get all in.
I think that Nia Jax, for Monday Night Raw, because I feel like she should have had the Raw Women's Championship at this point.
See, I think the Raw Women's roster is too stacked.
I think
she
agree.
goes to SmackDown, has the title like within the first week.
Yeah.
But here on the Raw one, it's too stacked, and there's not enough spots for her. Whereas here, you are with the current cruiserweight champion who is the face of his own brand, who gets ratings, and he's over. And I think that's good for her.
See, this is what I think would be the best thing for Nia, is that if they did a triple threat match for the Raw Women's title, Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, Sasha Banks. Because when you look at that, because like they've built it on Total Divas too, so you could use that as a storyline too if you ever so need so. But these two are friends. Now, granted they fell out a while ago, but they could just completely retcon that and be like, no, they're friends because Total Divas.
I mean, they did that literally. They weren't friends, and then the next week they were friends again.
Exactly. So there we go. We've already retconned that. So you have them compete in a triple threat matchup, and you have Alexa Bliss. Get hit with like a bank statement or something like that. And then quickly Nia Jax drops a leg accidentally on Alexa, and then she picks up the pin and she wins the Raw Women's Championship with help from Sasha Banks because she used the bank statement. And then you could have a storyline between that, because then you could have these like, I thought you were my best friend, but you stole that title from me. Or you could have Nia pin Sasha Banks after like the Bliss, like after Twisted Bliss, like she hits Twisted Bliss, and then Nia runs in, drops a leg, and then like gets the pin on Sasha, and then Alexa's just like, what? What? And then Nia's Raw Women's Champion, and then you have that storyline. That would be the best thing for Nia. Having her go for the boy toy that is Enzo Amore.
He's the realest guy in the room.
I don't give a damn. He's
a certified G and a bona fide stud.
I kill it with fire.
You can't teach that.
Just kill it with fire. And I feel like the last thing we need with Enzo Amore is a relationship thing. Because the last time that Enzo tried to do something with another woman on the roster was trying to sleep with Rusev's wife.
I feel like we bring that up every episode.
I feel like we do, yeah, but like, he tried to sleep with another man's wife. Like, come on.
Yeah, but listen. All right. He didn't, and that's the important thing.
And that doesn't matter. He tried.
I think
it's the thought that counts.
I am all for this angle. I love it. This was my second favorite. This was my second favorite part of the show, if I'm being honest with you.
Now, do you just want Sister Abigail to be in there and then haunt the couple?
You know what? I think Sister Abigail is gonna have his hands full with another angle,
Possibly
soon.
But yeah, then there was the Fatal 4-Way Cruiserweight: Cedric Alexander, Mustafa Ali, Tony Nese, and Drew Gulak. There was a nice spot where Tony Nese was about to do a dive, and then Drew was like, no diving, no high flying.
I love Drew Gulak.
That was a great spot. There was a great superplex powerbomb. The crowd was really getting into this matchup. And I'm like, wow, even despite the stupid situations that these guys are given, they're still able to put on incredible matches that the crowd is getting into.
Did you hear that they opened up in January, I think, this month? They're doing like a 3-day tour.
I did see that, yes. Yeah. I think that's really cool for them because they need more exposure than they're getting.
Yeah.
There was a great, I can't remember the name of the move, but like Sin Cara Original used to do that as his finishing move, where Mustafa Ali springboard onto the top rope and then did like a backflip with Mustafa Ali, to Cedric Alexander. I can't remember. I thought I heard it was like a springboard Spanish flyer, I think it was called, but it was so gift worthy because he just jumps over and it's just woof right over and that was awesome. The crowd starts chanting, "This is awesome." Drew Gulak steals the victory. So next week, it's Drew Gulak versus Rich Swann next week on Raw to determine the #1 contender for the Cruiserweight title. Now, I'm completely good with Drew. I think it's great that Drew is getting this position. I feel like Rich Swann should not be there. I feel like this spot should have absolutely gone to Cedric. So have Cedric in the first match and have him win, and then like just have those two swap matches, so that way Drew still gets the win and then Cedric gets the win. Because this is just my personal opinion. I think Rich Swann is boring.
Oh man!
In terms of his character, the wrestling ability he's got like no other. But we've seen this done before, and I don't think. I think you need to give a spotlight to a guy who needs it, which is Cedric to me.
I agree, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like I'm fine with Rich, and if this leads to Drew, it's not going to. But if this leads to Drew, if it were to lead to Drew getting the title match, then it would be fine. But that's not what's gonna happen.
No, I would love it if it leads to Enzo Amore with his buddy Drew Gulak and his Bay Nia Jax, and they start their own little trio. I would love that.
It's just like no. Just no. I just don't understand why we haven't pulled the trigger with Cedric, because I feel like out of everybody on the main roster, he's the guy that you can get the fans the most behind, because he's one of the most athletic. He's got an incredible moveset that the fans can pop for. He's incredibly likable. He's got a great I consider him to be the better version of Apollo Crews. And I think that this is the guy that you want to do the most with. And I mean, if anything shows, like, look at the CWC. He gets eliminated, and the crowd, I keep saying this, the crowd was chanting for you to sign him. And you did, and you haven't done anything with him.
Yeah, so I agree. I think Cedric, and who knows, maybe they're waiting for a bigger show than whatever they book him. I mean, I feel like they're going to do, whoever wins this match between Swann, they'll probably do Swann and Enzo. I would like to think they'll probably do it at Royal Rumble, but probably will be like a rematch or something. Maybe they're waiting to pull the trigger on Cedric during like a bigger show. Who knows?
I hope so, because I feel like he's the guy that you should put the Cruiserweight Championship on next.
Maybe they'll have Cedric win it during when they tour.
I hope so, because that would be one that'd be really cool for the tour, and one that would be awesome for Cedric. After that match, we had Elias Samson come out, and oh yeah, because Kurt Angle said you can have a match tonight, but it's an opponent of my choosing, and Elias starts his song, and it's Braun Strowman.
Bro.
Yep, and Elias tries to walk away, but then while he's celebrating in the ring, I scared him away, he tries to attack him, and it fails. Elias ends up trying to hit Braun with the guitar, and he no-sells it. And then Kane ends up sending a message to Braun that I quite honestly tuned out of. I was just only one monster emerged was all I really heard. And I was just like, that's all I really care about. Yeah. So again, another small seed planted for this storyline. Storyline reasons, though, this makes Kurt Angle look like a massive asshole of a boss. It's like, you want a match? Fine, here's Braun Strowman.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a heel, so I mean,
I understand that, but like, I feel like he was making a legitimate complaint. Like, he's like, I wanted a rematch for the Intercontinental Championship, but you gave it to your son.
Yeah,
it's like there's legitimate arguments to that, and Kurt Angle's like, "Fuck you, here's Braun Strowman."
I think it's more. I think it plays more along the lines of you are the third person to like demand something from me today, so you know what I'm said like, you know what I mean? That's how I.
No, I agree. Yeah, but like it's just like. Poor Elias.
Right.
I'm like,
yeah.
I just feel bad for him. But yeah.
I'd love to see him as the Intercontinental Champion.
So would I.
Awesome.
I would love to see him with any title.
Like, don't get me wrong. Like, if I had to choose between Elias or Samoa Joe, I will pick Samoa Joe. But I almost wish they had like a belt that was lower than the eye. Like, I wish they had like the European title or like something like, you know what I mean? One of those belts that the lower mid card guys could have. Like, can you imagine if they brought back the Hardcore Championship and just Elias?
Oh my gosh!
And he called himself the heavy metals. Like, he made himself a heavy metal guy. Like, that'd be awesome.
Oh god!
Like,
there was a small thought that I had with Elias, and that was Elias is one of those characters who you could do like a somewhat of a Damien Mizdow style thing, where like he gets another person with him who's musically inclined. As his opening act.
Yeah. Well,
but the opening act ends up outshining him in terms of talent in terms of singing and in terms of guitar work, to the point where those guys start feuding. Now, granted, I don't know exactly who's considered who you would get as a singer that could be.
The only guy I can think of is, you know how I think I said on an earlier podcast how if they ever do a superstar shakeup, I think him and Aiden English would be a really good team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only that I can think of.
That's the only real singing gimmick.
But I don't know how over Aiden English could get. You know what I mean?
I feel like he's as over as he possibly can be with what he's doing with Rusev.
Exactly.
And I don't think that there's any reason why you should split those two up. Hell, throw me in it. I don't give a damn. Give me the spotlight to sing on Raw.
It'd be cool if they put like if he's just like, you know, I tried to, I come out here every week and I perform. Clearly, I'm not getting it done. I need to form a band. And it'd be cool if they put him with Heath Slater. That
would be kind of funny, honestly. Yeah. But I don't think that's the right move for him. But it was a fun idea that I thought of.
No, I like that idea, actually. I kind of like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure they won't do it. Because
they won't.
But like
I like the idea.
We can dream.
Yeah.
Then there was Asuka killing Alicia Fox.
Yep. Raw Women Captain.
Yep. I just have to ask, why does everyone who goes to die to Asuka cut one of those garbage promos that they show backstage where like while their entrance is going on? First there was 2 from Dana Brooke, and then there was one with Alicia Fox.
I think it's just to give them a like.
I guess, but there's really no reason why to. I feel like what should happen is just like Kurt Angle's trying to find opponents for Asuka, but like Fox is walking out there like, no, I don't want to be here, and then she's like, just like, hey, we can calmly resolve this, and then Asuka just kills her. Yeah, I feel like that would be better instead of them just like happily walking out to their death. Yeah,
that's the thing. I do kind of wish they would come out and be like, I'm about to die. Like I kind of wish they would come out and maybe not be terrified.
Yeah, but just be
definitely
like,
not skip to the ring. Like I can't wait to get destroyed by Asuka.
But then again, the excuse could be made that Alicia Fox is crazy. So maybe she's just like, I can be her because I'm a team captain.
Well, it also makes sense that like, you know, this is the main roster, so everyone is confident. But like, I don't know. I wouldn't book it that way.
I wouldn't either. Yeah. But Absolution ends up coming out after Asuka beats Alicia. Asuka again walks away with no move made by Absolution. Fox still in the ring. Paige comes in to talk to her and listen, you were one of the only people who liked me a year ago. She's my best friend and I love you. But I don't think Sonya and Mandy feel the right way. And Sonya and Mandy beat up Alicia Fox and then just completely leave her helpless in the ring. See, this is how you book a women faction like that, and they do it well because Paige is charismatic and she's good on the mic.
Yep.
And she's got the backup that helps her out because Sonya Deville is just like is your muscle for a faction like that.
Yeah.
But I just feel I just can't help but feel bad for the Riot Squad because they're not being treated nearly as bad. Well,
and who knows? You know, maybe. I mean, it's still early to see. There's still plenty of time for them to turn it around. But I agree. As of right now, if we're judging it based on what we've seen so far, Absolution is head and shoulders better.
And then real quickly, the USA Network announced that next week is WWE Holiday Week, where we get Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live, the network television debut of NXT,
That's cool. I actually really.
Yeah.
How did I miss that?
Yeah, they aired commercials
Did they announce
constantly.
it on the Hulu version? Maybe I
No,
missed it
not
on
on the Hulu version.
That's,
no.
that's what I watched.
Okay,
so
yeah.
I must have.
So yeah,
Wow.
Monday Night Raw, SmackDown Live at their normal times. 7 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday is NXT.
And that's gonna be a thing from here on out.
I don't think it's from here on out. I think it's just a one-time special thing to
man.
like. I think it would be better. I don't think they're gonna do that though, but I think it would be a good thing for NXT.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think it would be great to have them on network television.
Me too.
I think that a lot more people would watch because like it's just on TV.
Yeah. I mean, NXT is a huge selling point for getting the network, is you can watch NXT.
Of course, yeah,
And
but like you can still have the
Exactly,
takeover events be by the network.
Exactly.
So like, because like that's the thing, is just like you get a lot of people who don't end up watching NXT,
and you still have 205 Live.
Yeah, well, yeah, and you still have 205 Live, but like you get a lot of people who don't watch the NXT tapings, but then will watch Takeover and then just get the understanding of it. Like I get so far behind on NXT. Like I feel like having it on television would be much easier.
I go through moments where I watch it every week and I'm like on top of it, and then I go through moments where I don't watch it for months at a time, watch the takeover and get everything that's happening.
Yeah,
So,
I feel like the last time I actually kept up with NXT like legitimately was when I was going to take over Brooklyn 3. So I was like, I need to make sure I watch this so I know who the hell everyone is.
Yeah. See, for me, it's more like, I don't know. To me, it really depends on like who is part of it. Like back when Shinsuke was champ, I watched all the time.
Yeah.
And then from there, I've kind of fell.
Well, it's just
off
because
a
the
little.
main guys who got you into it have now already made it to the main roster.
Like, watched when Sami Zayn and Finn Balor were all there. I watched all the time.
No, yeah.
But, like,
I would like to see, because then you could still the next night have them show up on the network on demand.
Yeah.
So there's no reason why they can't keep it. I feel like that's what WWE needs to talk to USA about, because I feel like USA would love to have more WWE on their television,
Yeah, it's
since
not
it's
like
their
WWE
highest. It's
doesn't
not like
get-
USA has any other shows. Like I don't know. I don't see Chris Lee Knows Best outperforming WWE in ratings.
I can't even tell you shows that are still on
And then,
USA.
yeah.
I haven't had cable in so long.
Exactly. And then finally, on Thursday, wrapping up the week, is the 15th annual Tribute to the Troops, which was announced too that MGK will be performing there.
Oh man, Machine Gun Kelly.
Yes.
I like Machine Gun Kelly.
Yep. I'm hoping Kevin's there so he can powerbomb him off the stage again. But this time they're on like it looks like from the pictures that I've seen them post since it's pre-recorded, it looks like they're on a what the hell is it called? Like an aircraft carrier, I think it is. It looks like they're on one of those. So maybe Machine Gun Kelly can just get powerbombed overboard.
Yeah.
I would love that. Yeah, I enjoy Tribute to the Troops. I feel like it's a show that WWE always does a really good job with.
I think it's a good tradition.
It is.
I mean, yeah, it's a good tradition. I like it. I mean, it's Tribute to the Troops. It's a fun show. You know, you're not gonna see any riveting. You're not gonna see a match of the year on it.
Of course not. It's not there for that though.
Exactly, but it's good for what it does, and and it's the only holiday-esque thing they do that I am okay with. Because
I don't
Christmas
know.
episodes are horrible.
That gift-worthy moment of John Cena pulling out a chair from a present was pretty funny. Thanks, Santa, for this steel chair. Yeah. But afterwards, we had Finn Balor versus Bo Dallas.
A man who isn't over.
Nope. And I just looked at this and I was like, are you serious right now? We have to give Bo Dallas to Finn in order for him to get a win on Monday Night Raw. I'm like, couldn't it have? I was like, have Curtis Axel wrestle, because at least you have some actual, like legitimate, like this guy has won a title in WWE.
Bo Dallas is a former NXT champion.
Yeah, but what main title has he won?
I mean, none. But
Exactly.
Like, I mean,
Curtis Axel is a former Intercontinental champion.
Two former NXT champions squaring off.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's
And
just
I like Bo Dallas more.
No, I like Curtis Axel more. I like Curtis Axel way more. But Finn Balor finally gets a win on Raw with no shenanigans. And it's just like, I mean, like, it just hurts seeing what happens to him. And I just want to see something turn around. But
it's I mean, with the Miz going to go record the 500th Marine movie, like, you know,
why is Becky Lynch getting wrapped up in that stupid movie too?
Bring in like 100
I'm like, you don't need this, Becky.
However, we have the Miz Taraj because of the last one, so I'm okay with it.
Understandable,
But
yes.
but I don't know. It makes you like, because now they don't have anything to do, like Miz and or Bo Dallas and Axel, and I want them on TV. I want everyone on TV. So I guess at least them having a match with Bo or with Finn like gives them exposure and gives Finn a win. because apparently he needs wins. I don't think he does. I think he's fine, but apparently he needs wins to get himself over.
Yeah.
So,
but that's not. But getting past that immediately, we get to the main thing about this Monday Night Raw.
The best thing that happened in the whole show.
Matt Hardy's awakening.
Oh God.
So
awesome.
Bray Wyatt starts doing his normal promo. It's like Matt Hardy isn't who you think he is, and then we cut, and then the screen jitters a little bit, and we cut to Matt Hardy, broken or woken. It doesn't matter. Full getup, full craziness. British accent and all. Yeah.
It made me realize how much I missed broken Matt Hardy.
It really did.
It really makes me want. Like I was like, oh, I missed you so much. Like that was my that I watched consistently. I watched TNA consistently every single week when Matt was on it being broken. Did not miss an episode. As soon as he was off TV, haven't watched a single episode.
See, I just never I've never watched TNA. But I did watch the Final Deletion.
I've watched,
and again, I was one of those people when I first saw it. I thought it was the dumbest thing ever created. I thought, what the hell are they doing to the Hardy Boys? Brother Nero? What the fuck is that? But I don't know what moment turned it over for me. Maybe it was the moment when Matt Hardy just took Jack the Jobber over the railing and then bit his ear off.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was like, I remember I remember Damien Sandow did something with Matt too. I don't remember what exactly it was. But like they were just shouting back and forth at each other and it was hysterical. I don't know what turned it over for me, but I thought it was incredible. And then when they first came to WWE, when they came back, I was like, we were just all waiting for it, and like the wait finally paid off.
I don't want to say Jeff being injured was like a blessing in disguise, because like I don't want Jeff to get hurt. I mean, like you don't want to see ever, especially someone like Jeff Hardy. Like me personally, I'm not the biggest Jeff Hardy fan. I've always preferred Matt. But Jeff Hardy's popular. He's over. He's a good wrestler, and I don't ever want to see somebody like that caliber get hurt and miss WrestleMania. But at the same time, it got us woken Matt.
Yeah, I mean,
even though Jeff Hardy's quite broken right now, I think Matt Hardy being woken is incredible.
That's the thing too, and I'm basically with a majority of the fans. Before Matt was broken, like Jeff was the guy. Like Jeff was the main Hardy.
That's how, and I will admit that Jeff's always been the more popular one. I'm just, you know me. I'm just a mark, and I like the guy who's less popular. Because
you're
I'm
the dirty
stubborn.
mark who goes against the grain.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this was just a great segment. It was, and like granted, looking at it, I didn't know exactly if they were communicating to each other or what, or if they were just talking and then like disrupting each other's feeds.
And at the same time,
it didn't matter. Because he says, I have been woken, and Bray Wyatt, you've left me no choice. I sentence you to deletion.
It was great.
And when they traded laughs, I bursted.
So funny.
I bursted out laughing. It was hysterical. He's just like, you got Bray with this like, just like normal laugh, and then just Matt coming to like, oh.
I really want to see a Final Deletion-esque movie to the caliber that WWE could put on.
I'm sure they. I mean, we've seen that they do have the ability to do that because they did that one with New Day I was there for that show when that happened.
But
like,
I think they could. I think this could be this feud. I talked very highly of Sister Abigail versus Demon Finn. Sister Abigail versus Woken Matt Hardy. I am all about.
See, at this point, I'd feel like you don't even need Sister Abigail. I mean, you can include him if you want. Woken Matt Hardy is going to carry this feud.
They should do Woken Matt versus regular Bray. Have Woken Matt go over, and then have Bray be like, I'm gonna, and then have him like then channel Abigail, and that's when you do the giant movie at Royal Rumble. Or if you need to drag this out to Mania, I'm all about it. But
see,
awesome.
I don't think you should have. I think Matt needs to wrestle in an actual match at Mania. So I'd be fine with him doing it at like the next Raw pay-per-view. But he needs to have an actual match. But yeah, this is my favorite thing on Monday Night Raw,
Yep,
and
I can't wait.
Legitimately, like, I mean, there were some good things on Raw, and continuing on to the main event was Rollins and Ambrose versus The Bar for the Raw Tag Team Championships.
5,000th time.
Yep, and
Fight forever.
there was a botch in this match where Seth, like, kind of fell on top of Sheamus on the apron. Like, he, like, dodged a kick and then just kind of just jumped on his back and fell on him. But Sheamus ends up stomping repeatedly on Seth Rollins and gets a DQ. But Kurt Angle's like, no, this isn't going to happen. This match is restarted and it's no disqualification. Samoa Joe comes out and attacks Seth and Dean. Roman Reigns then comes out briskly and then chases Joe away. And for once, Roman Reigns actually helps his brothers. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Bro kicked to Dean Ambrose, even though I don't think he was the legal man. And the Bar retain the Raw Tag Team Championships.
God, I'm so sick of seeing the Bar feud with them. Like, it hurts them too because like the Shield are never like. Yes, right now the Bar is winning, but if in the long-term booking, the Bar never beats the Shield.
Nope.
Like, they win all these battles, but they will not win the war. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so it's one of those things where it's like,
Would you say the Great War?
Yeah, the Great War. I'm so sick of seeing this, and it sucks that there's no other group that you could have feud with either of them.
I'm begging for the Revival to just get healed.
Revival, or I'm begging for the Balor Club.
Yeah, for the
Balor
Good
Club
Brothers. Yeah,
versus the Shield.
Yeah.
I'll even take Balor Club. I'll even take Gallows and Anderson with Finn versus the Bar. I'll take it. But
yeah.
Give us something new. I'm so ready.
I feel like the moment we need to start, we need the Good Brothers to become babyface because we know how good they can be because we know how charismatic and great both Gallows and Anderson are. So you don't need heel tag teams anymore. Like it's not like you have another one to go up against it, and they're not doing anything. Yeah. So I feel like just remove that and just do something different with your tag division because it's become so stale. It's unbelievable. Yeah, like I'm genuinely like, and I try to stay positive about most things, but I only care about Broken Matt or Woken Matt on Monday Night Raw because there's nothing else that like legitimately enthralls me to keep watching.
The seeds for the Jason Jordan heel turn interests me, but besides that, and Absolution, seeing what they're gonna do. But besides those two small things, Woken Matt will bring me back to watch what happens.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing too with what's happening with Jason Jordan. I'm only gonna care when it happens because at this point, like, it's just a slog where it's just like we're waiting for it, just do it already. Yeah. Until then, we constantly just hear like, Dad, please. And to be honest, when that's being portrayed as a babyface, it's even more infuriating.
Well, I really think if they're going to wait till Royal Rumble, which now that we think about it, it's probably the better move. I would be okay with him becoming more of a whiny kind of brat character and start demanding things, because that'll just give us more of a reason to boo him, and it'll give more steam to the story.
And then just have him like look around at the fans like, why are you booing me?
I'm Kurt Angle's son!
It's like, don't you know who I am? Yeah, exactly. Have the seeds be planted. Like, he's not officially heel, but he's basically heel.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I'm fine with that. And again, Absolution. I think they're gonna do great stuff. It needs to lead to Paige getting a shot for the title, but like as long as it leads to that, then I'm fine with that. But like everything else, just no.
I really think it's going to lead to Paige getting the title probably at Rumble, and then having Paige defend against Asuka at Mania is my personal prediction of what I think is going to happen.
I think that would most likely happen too. But moving to SmackDown Live this week, which was just as bad.
Yeah. Sami
Zayn and Kevin Owens come out, say it's the Sami and Kevin show or the Kevin and Sami show, depending on whatever you prefer. So Sami does a nice thing where he's just like, this is the ring. This is ringside. And once you pass the ramp, this is a completely different area. Like, that was great. He did a really good job. RKO to Kevin Owens out of nowhere from behind. Then Shane McMahon comes out, and then Sami Zayn, they're like, Sami Zayn's stuck between a rock and a hard place. I'm like, no, Sami Zayn's stuck between a wrestler and an old man. I'm like, there's one is clearly better than the other. I'm like, Sami, you could haluva kick Shane McMahon right now and then just walk out of here.
Just run away.
It does not matter. Yeah. So they determine that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens will face Randy Orton and a partner of his choosing at Clash of Champions. But tonight we get Sami Zayn versus Randy Orton with Kevin Owens handcuffed at ringside. Like,
because that makes sense.
Because this isn't an abuse of power at all.
And, well, I mean, you would think, you know, at least it's going to lead to Sami Zayn getting over on Randy Orton.
You would think so, yeah.
Yep.
But, yeah, we'll not know about that. But first, let's talk about Aiden English and Rusev.
Oh, that's part of the show.
There is a Rusev Day t-shirt.
Yeah.
And
it's coming in the mail.
Yeah, oh my God. I mean, like, that shirt will make no sense wearing that in public, but I don't care.
It is currently on its way to my house.
Oh, do you have it already?
It's on its way to my house.
That's amazing.
I'm hoping to wear it for next week.
I'm hoping to get some good old Christmas money and then put it towards that because that is amazing. So there's a Rusev Day chant and it's prevalent. Like it is very much
I'm so happy that they're doing so
I
well.
am too.
Like it is like do I want to see Rusev in better feuds? Absolutely. I'm a believer that I think Rusev could be your top heel because at one point he was. Like he came out of a freaking tank and everyone talks about that and it's right. He's a great wrestler, great heel. He could be the man. However, I am so happy, and I love this angle. I love this entire team. I want them to win.
I love the fact that this just came from a ridiculous, out of nowhere. It just Aiden English singing "It's Rusev Day," and that just blew up. And then there's just I think the best part was like Aiden English comes in and then just like starts talking to Shane or Daniel Bryan, and then Rusev's just like, "It's Rusev Day."
Yeah, and I love. Even for the Aiden English, like it's great.
It's incredible for English.
When Simon Gotch asked for his release and Aiden English was a singles guy, I was like, he will be released within the next few months. I was like, he is either going to be a guy they bring out to put people over and we'll never see him, or he will be released. And for a while, he was the guy who put people over.
Yeah, except for Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn. He beat Sami Zayn like what, 3 times?
Yeah, like 2 times in a row.
Yeah,
and both of them were clean.
Yeah,
it was bullshit.
But no, I'm happy. I'm all about this entire team.
I am too. And they did a nice little 12 Days of Rusev, which was very funny. And Corey Graves, we discovered, can't count because they were like, I'm on the 3rd day of Rusev, and he didn't finish it. And he's like, I want the other. We still had 9 days left. I'm like, he never finished 3. We had 10. I'm like, do I need to bring Ty Dellinger out for you so you know what 10 is? Because obviously you don't know. Yeah, I just want him to just that would be amazing if he just came out and like just heard Corey Graves and like Corey Graves like, what do you want? And he just goes 10 and then just walks back. I'm like, oh, and he's like, oh, okay. But the New Day come out with pancakes galore. Like
I love this random thing too.
It's like they haven't even made a shirt about it. Like it's just like, hey, we have pancakes.
I wish they call them. I want them to call them booty cakes.
I don't know, but. Yeah, we had a match between New Day and Aiden English. Aiden English ends up going over, which is incredible. And then the match for Night of Champions is determined to be the New Day versus Benjamin and Gable versus the Usos versus Aiden English and Rusev.
Come on, Rusev
in a fatal 4-way tag team match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Now, originally when I thought this was supposed to be Benjamin and Gable versus the Usos, it didn't make sense to me that they lost to the New Day last week. Yeah. But now that I know that it's a multiple tag thing, then it doesn't matter. Yeah. And I'm just Rusev and English, like they have to see this right now and be like, let's go full throttle with these guys.
I feel like if they didn't pull the trigger on the Fashion Police, they won't pull the trigger on this.
Yeah.
But I am so hoping I'm wrong.
I am too, and that's the thing.
I'm also so hoping Benjamin and Gable do not win.
Oh, yeah?
But that's only because I don't want to see either of them teaming together. I want them both to be singles.
Yeah.
I want Shelton Benjamin to be doing something else. Chad Gable, great young guy. Don't really care about... I care about him, but he's young. He's still got time. Shelton Benjamin will not be here forever, and I want Shelton Benjamin to do something good. I want him to
like a singles title, yeah.
I want Shelton Benjamin, Baron Corbin levels of, that's what I want.
I agree. I think that would be better for him in the long run. Mm-hmm. But I actually do see Benjamin Gable possibly coming out on top with this, just because they've been around for a while and they haven't gotten the titles yet. I don't see New Day or Usos winning this because we've seen it already. It's got to be either Rusev and English or Benjamin and Gable to me. I feel like we need something new in terms of the tag divisions to make sure, because especially with the development of Rusev and English, because you made a T-shirt, you understand that this is somewhat over, and when the T-shirt sales come in and you realize how over these guys are, you need to pull the trigger.
Yeah, but I also think But I also think with Rusev and in English, you could have English taking the pin to like give Gable and Benjamin a tag title run, and then you could just you could continue to just develop them as a team.
I agree.
They're still kind of fresh, and they are those people that even though they're not like super like they're not high up the card, they are liked by fans and can take losses and still be over.
Of course, yeah.
So
because the fans are always going to be behind them.
yeah.
But then we had a promo from Mojo Rawley explaining his actions for attacking Zack Ryder.
I didn't give a crap about this at all.
See, this I thought this was a strong promo for Mojo.
I didn't even watch it.
I thought it was a strong promo. I like the fact I thought it was kind of ridiculous. It's like Rob Gronkowski won't talk to me anymore. I'm like, who cares?
I saw his bright yellow shirt and then like lost interest. I was like, oh, you look dumb.
I feel like in terms of a heel promo, I feel like it made sense to me because he was like, I won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. I won, and I was like, everything was starting to look up for me. I was starting to really get some momentum, and then Zack comes back, and I'm stuck with him. And then like he wanted to cut the dead weight. It made sense, and
yes.
I thought it was a good, strong heel promo. And when Zack Ryder comes out and says, "You only won that Battle Royal because of your friend Rob," and then you have that, and like. There's good abilities for these two to be a good feud and a good rivalry.
A program, and I'm all about it.
It absolutely does, and I think these guys can do really well. And yes. I hope that there's a match set up for them at Clash of Champions, or
that'll probably be a pre-show match.
Yeah,
but yeah, they'll probably get it.
I don't see. Here's the thing: it shouldn't be a pre-show match. I feel like, or just not have the match and have them like build up to it for Royal Rumble because if you want to keep building this is fine. But like I feel like. Don't blow your load with this feud. You can take this for a little longer.
One of them is going to eliminate the other one at the Rumble, right?
Something like I feel like that's got to be one of them.
Especially, I feel like it's going to be one of those things where like one of them is going to going to look like
Mojo.
Oh my God, they're on a roll, and then one of them's going to roll.
Like like Mojo gets the win at Clash of Champions, but at the Royal Rumble, Zack Ryder eliminates Mojo Rawley.
Yeah,
I feel like that's most likely what we can see happening.
Boom, and then give them a WrestleMania match.
Yep. But then there was the Bludgeon Brothers basic squash match. I didn't even remember who their opponents were.
They were jobbers.
Yeah, they were jobbers.
But also, I think they also have a good stake at being. I think whoever wins this match for at Clash of Champions is just going to be the filler champ for the Bludgeon Brothers.
See, I would not like that at all.
I think the Bludgeon Brothers will be the tag champs, and I think I don't know. Like I said, any one of these four teams whichever one wins. Will probably hold the belts until probably Royal Rumble, and then the Bludgeon Brothers will have them at Rumble.
Yeah.
After Rumble.
I don't know. But then we had Baron Corbin versus Bobby Roode. This is just a small complaint on my part. But you know how, like, Raw and SmackDown's Titantrons are just vaguely different, with Raw having the wide one and SmackDown having, like, the weird cubed-esque one?
Yeah.
They need to get rid of that cubed one. Because I don't like seeing Bobby Roode's entrance, and then it's just, ood. Because the R and the E are on the side. Yeah. Get rid of that.
But they're ooh.
Yeah, just or Glorious. It's like, just get rid of that because it looks terrible. Dolph Ziggler at commentary, because we determined that it's a triple threat match between Baron Corbin, Bobby Roode, and Dolph Ziggler for the United States Championship. Dolph Ziggler runs into the match, zigzag to both Bobby and Corbin, and yeah. So it's just, that was the thing. And I'm not, like, it's just... I feel bad for what's going on with the U.S. Championship because it's just not interesting.
Well, I think a big problem is I think Baron and Bobby will be a good program. Dolph is only in it because his contract is expiring soon, and they want to get him. They want Dolph to put people over. I think that's why Dolph is in this feud.
Yeah,
Dolph is gonna take the pin. Dolph is gonna and that's what they like. We have him, might as well use him. And while you have him, have him put over Baron Corbin and Bobby. So I think Baron's going to beat Dolph at Clash, and then maybe Bobby will go over at Rumble, or maybe they'll have his title run be at Mania.
I don't know.
Either way, It's just. I want to really care about this because I like Bobby Roode, but I don't.
But we like Bobby Roode as a heel because that's what he's good at. There was a painful backstage segment with Natalya that I was just like, end this, please. And it just adds to the fact of how much I just do not like Natalya as a heel.
I go back and forth on her. There are moments when I'm like, I really like Natalya. She's a workhorse, and she's she's reliable, and I like that when she's successful. And then there are moments when she talks, and I'm like, what? This is horrible.
Yeah,
and
it's one of those. It's just one of those wrestlers where it's just like, She's so talented. She's got a great lineage behind her, and I respect the hell out of her.
Like her.
But your promo skills to me just bother the hell out of me. Because
really
I feel like they should be
manager.
better. They should be better, yeah. Like, I just don't know.
I don't care what you have to do to pay Bret Hart, but pay Bret Hart and let Bret Hart be her manager and cut all of her promos.
Go ahead.
Like,
yeah. But yeah, Tamina versus Charlotte. Tamina tapped mid-bridge of the figure 8, I wanted to say, which I thought was kind of ridiculous. But then, yeah, what we mentioned, Riot Squad just looks bad after Tamina and Sarah Logan go at it. And to the final match was Randy Orton versus Sami Zayn. They tried to get out of it earlier. They tried to talk to Daniel Bryan, this is barbaric, this is ridiculous. Daniel couldn't really do anything. It seemed like he wanted to get him out of it, but he couldn't really. But yeah. So then Randy Orton comes out, and I'm just gonna get this out of the way. Randy Orton, cut your fucking hair, please. It's like you and John are trying your hardest to compete on who looks crap, who looks the worst with long hair. It's just oh my God, it just drives me insane.
Oh man.
It's like, I'm like, dude.
It's the little things.
It's the little things that bother me about Randy Orton.
I want my bald-headed Randy Orton.
I want Randy Orton to just cut his hair, please. It's just, you don't look good. It looks ridiculous. Like, I don't care how much you don't care about this segment. Just cut your hair, please. It looks awful. It looks terrible.
So how'd you feel about the outcome of the match?
It was stupid.
Did you hate that equally?
Just about, yeah. Sami Zayn grabbed some bolt cutters, and Kevin Owens ended up freeing himself with the bolt cutters. But Orton ends up still winning with a roll-up to Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
And then Kevin and Sami start attacking Orton after the match, but Shinsuke Nakamura comes out to save Randy Orton, and they come out on top. So they're implying that we're gonna see Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura versus Kevin. Yeah, it's based. Yeah, okay. So that's what we're getting. That's what we're getting. So we've seen this match already before. This was the first match we saw when Sami Zayn turned heel. Already, I don't give a shit. Second off, Shane McMahon backstage is with Daniel Bryan, and first off, he goes, that was one of the most satisfying finishes to SmackDown Live since we started running the show. And I'm like, you are wrong and you are stupid. And then Daniel Bryan's like, are you finished punishing him? He's like, no, I'm just getting started. I'm the special guest referee. Ah! Oh my God. I'm like, there was a point where, like, I was just, like, so mad at this. I was like, give me Stephanie. I don't care. There was a point where I was so mad, I just wanted Stephanie McMahon. Now, granted, I understand what I said then, and now I'm like, no, Stephanie is still 100 times worse than Shane McMahon. But I'm tired of this. I am so tired of this. And then if Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn lose this match, they are fired.
Well, here's the thing. There's no way, and I can say this with great confidence, there is no way Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn will lose this, because they're not going to pull them from... If it was they leave SmackDown, I'd be like, all right, they'll go to Raw. But the fact that he was like, they'll be fired from WWE, there's no way. And I really think that they will go over here. I think Shinsuke is going to take the fall, which is sad. I think Randy should do it, but Randy doesn't do that unless it's Jinder Mahal. But I don't know. I'm probably, in fact, I am definitely wrong in this assumption. There's no way this happens. But do you think that the seeds are being planted for a Shane McMahon versus Daniel Bryan match?
I mean, with the rumors going around that Daniel Bryan is being, like, I remember I saw Steven Larson had rumors that Daniel Bryan was cleared, which I don't buy until I see it.
Exactly.
I won't buy it until I see it. I feel like that would be the safest match.
I mean, that's why I'm thinking.
It's like with Shawn Michaels coming back to face his best friend Triple H. It made sense to put him in a safe matchup where Shawn could work at his own pace. And if Daniel Bryan was to come back, it would make sense for it to be with Shane. I don't think it's gonna happen. I agree with you that Kevin Owens and Sami will win this match. But I'm just so tired of Shane McMahon making every main event match about himself.
Well, and that's why for me, like, there's no other option you could take with this. Like, look at the SmackDown roster. Like, AJ Styles is feuding with Jinder. After that, he's probably gonna feud with one of those two guys that are feuding with Owens and Sami Zayn.
Or maybe Owens or Sami.
Maybe, but I feel like they're not gonna this Shane McMahon thing is definitely not over with. This Shane McMahon versus Owens and Sami Zayn thing is probably going to carry into Mania. I'm not a fan of that, but only because I don't know what else they could do. They've already had Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon. Sami Zayn versus Shane McMahon could work for like a Fastlane or for Rumble, but that's not going to be a Mania match. No. And I don't see where else you could take that unless you get Daniel Bryan involved. And if you get Daniel Bryan involved, like, what could you do with him? There doesn't make any sense for him to side with Shane McMahon at all, because the seeds are being planted that Daniel Bryan is going to turn heel and side with them, whether it be on a wrestling capacity or not.
And also, if that is what they're planting the seeds for Daniel Bryan to turn heel against Shane McMahon, what the fuck are you doing? How the fuck do you get this mixed up? And I've sworn a lot more than I normally do, but I'm legitimately angry with what we're doing with Shane McMahon. I don't understand why we are pushing this guy to the moon and back as the commissioner. And why is Daniel Bryan considered the heel when he's trying to be as respectable to the talent as he possibly can and treat the talent like you should treat talent and not get involved when Shane McMahon throws himself into every matchup possible and then he's considered the babyface? What are you doing?
It doesn't make sense.
I don't care if he's your son, Vince. You are booking this in the worst possible way.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And it's unfortunate that it's involving two guys who are heel. I think if they wouldn't,
not to mention the two of the best superstars on SmackDown Live,
right,
including one of them being my favorite, Sami Zayn.
Don't get me wrong. I would love if if this does lead to one of them taking on AJ Styles for the title. But again, no, Sami Zayn is awesome. He's your boy. But if you're gonna give one of them a world title match, it has to be Kevin. And we've already seen Kevin versus AJ.
Yeah, and I think
AJ versus Shinsuke Nakamura is what's going to happen.
And I see Sami Zayn being perfectly ready for a world title shot.
But he's skill-wise, absolutely. He's just not booked that way.
I agree, but like if Kevin Owens could easily be the guy who helps Sami get the victory.
Right. Like
that could easily be what would happen. There's a way that you can make Sami Zayn reasonably win the title, the world title. But they're just not going to do it. I know they're not going to do it. And it's just I'm just looking down the path for Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and I just see Shane McMahon standing right in the middle with it. Yeah. Bricks, like cement paved, like his feet are stuck in the cement. We are not moving from this, and it just drives me insane.
Yeah. I was super excited for this angle. I really thought we were going to get and who knows? It could end up Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, Who knows what could happen to them? Obviously, they will win the feud. I think there's no way Shane McMahon will eventually win the feud. So that's what I'm telling myself. Like, no matter what happens, Kevin Owens and Sami are going to get the last laugh. But it's one of those things where it's like, I'm trying to think as long-term as I can with this, and I don't see what you could do with this feud after this Clash of Champions match. But also, I don't see this ending until Shane McMahon gets his comeuppance.
Yeah, and he needs to get his comeuppance, or just turn him heel. Just turn Shane heel, because
but
at this point,
turn them heel because Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are so heel that you know what I mean.
I understand that, but just have him piss around with Daniel Bryan. I don't care. It just I'm sick and tired of Shane McMahon. I'm sick and tired of SmackDown Live being the show that you originally touted that was all about the superstars and was the land of opportunity. And Shane McMahon gets the ego that he has because he's a McMahon. Let's not forget. I don't care if he's the easiest McMahon to work with. He's still a McMahon, and McMahons have egos the size of freaking Jupiter. So we know what a McMahon does, and they get an ego, and then they make the show all about themselves. Stephanie McMahon did that. Triple H does that constantly because he's part of the McMahons now. Vince McMahon did that constantly. Now Shane McMahon is doing that constantly. We know how this goes, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the Mr. McMahon, Shane McMahon, Stephanie McMahon TV show. I want my pro wrestlers to be represented on my pro wrestling TV show. I don't want to constantly open up shows with authority promos. Can we open up with a match?
Yeah.
Is that so hard to do? Just open up with a match. That's all I ask of you, because it's just.
Or if you're gonna open with an angle, does it have to be an angle that involves a McMahon?
Exactly.
Why can't we have an angle? Why can't we have? Oh, I don't know. the WWE champion come. Why is AJ not even on the show this week?
Yeah.
Why can't we have AJ Styles come out and talk about his upcoming feud against Jinder Mahal?
Yeah, we had no build up to this WWE. We're like a week and a half away from Night of Champions. There was nothing other than the promo mentioned other than the promos that the vignettes that they showed about the match. We didn't see Jinder, we didn't see the Singh brothers, we didn't see AJ. Yeah. And after such a moment of Jinder Mahal turning his back on the Singh brothers and just nailing them with his finishing maneuver, after that sort of moment, why don't we have any mention of it?
Yeah,
all?
Why can't we have why can't we have Kevin Owens and why can't we have Randy Orton come out and be like, have him put this match over? Why do we need Shane McMahon to do it?
I don't know, because Randy Orton doesn't care.
Which is also a huge issue. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, if you tell him go put this over, he will do it. Like he works for you. At
this point in time, like there needs to be a shakeup where SmackDown gets the better deal because SmackDown has got 3 top baby faces. One of them's holding the WWE Championship, which is great, and then the other 2 are constantly together. So it's even more telling how small your babyface roster is in the main event scene for your show. So it's so telling that you have nobody in terms of your baby faces.
Well, and Shinsuke's been booked so poorly.
Exactly.
I don't even. It sucks. They don't even. I have to remind myself that he's even on SmackDown at times. He almost doesn't even feel like a main eventer anymore.
He doesn't.
He just feels like a member of SmackDown.
And I blame Jinder Mahal for that. I blame the fact that he didn't win the WWE Championship to Jinder Mahal, and his mystique was taken away from him immediately.
Blame Jinder. I blame the booking decisions.
I agree, yeah, but that's the match I point to. Yeah, obviously I say I blame Jinder for comedic effects because I know how it's easy just to be like screw Jinder.
Yeah.
But it was the booking decision to have Jinder Mahal beat Shinsuke Nakamura twice in a row, and I was 100% right. The mystique is gone.
Yeah, no, it is.
It is gone, and I was like, "There's no." And the longer we go without Shinsuke Nakamura being fixed, the longer it's going to be telling that you've ruined him, and there's no coming back.
And that's why I think a Mania angle with him and AJ would work very well. I think they could both do the angle babyface, but if you have to turn one of them heel, you can turn AJ heel if you have to.
Sure.
And I think that match would be really good, and I think it would give Shinsuke Nakamura a good rub.
It would.
AJ Styles doesn't have to go over either.
And it would give the Smarks the reason to care about this match too, because they've seen it. Most of the Smarks have already seen it before. Yeah. And for everyone who hasn't seen it, is going to see something magical.
Yeah. I blame Shane McMahon for this, and I also think that Randy Orton is a huge issue too, because I don't know. I personally am not the biggest Randy Orton fan.
Me too.
I think he's always been. I mean, I love him when he's a heel. When he's a heel Randy Orton, he is awesome. But when he's babyface Randy Orton, he is so boring.
His heel run in 2000, around 2009 when he faced John Cena, he was legitimately hateable.
Yeah.
Back when I was a dirty mark and I thought pro wrestling was real when I first started watching, because I thought it was real for about 6 months until I discovered, oh yeah, this isn't real. But then still liked it anyway because it's pro wrestling. Yeah. But I hated Randy Orton. I wanted John Cena to beat his ass every time because I was a John Cena mark when I first started watching, because I think everyone is when they first start, at least.
Or even when he fought Triple H and destroyed all the McMahons.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Well, I wasn't watching around that time.
That was after.
When he beat up all the McMahons. That was WrestleMania. That was for the WrestleMania 25 match. Oh. I started watching SummerSlam 2009, so that had already passed. But that was when they were doing the massive John Cena Randy Orton thing, where it was SummerSlam, Breaking Point, Hell in a Cell, Bragging Rights. Those were the 4 big matches that they were in. But yeah, no, Randy Orton's amazing as a heel, and I feel like he likes being a heel, and he's already. I think you said he wants to be a heel again.
Yeah.
Do that.
What if?
But the problem is, if you do that, we have 2 big baby faces on SmackDown. So we need a shake up to bring some babyface talent over to Raw, over to SmackDown, or bring someone up for NXT.
What about this? What if this is how this match gets booked? What if it's a tag team match? Obviously, Shinsuke, Randy, and then Owens and Sami. What if Randy turns heel on Shinsuke? RKO Shinsuke just leaves. Kevin pins Shinsuke Nakamura, and then from there, you can have Randy Orton and Shinsuke feud, and that can be a Mania match because that's a good match. And heel Randy would do really well against Shinsuke, and then you can put Kevin and Sami with AJ Styles. Whichever one of them you want to have feud.
Yep, and then just take Jinder Mahal off television.
Well, then we can get the Jinder Mahal versus Rob Gronkowski match that I will to this day say needs to happen.
Whatever you say, man. Whatever
We
you
have
say.
Jinder Mahal and Mojo Rawley versus Zack Ryder and Rob Gronkowski.
Oh my
It is the match. That's what I want now.
Why not add Snooki to the match too?
Why don't we
cover
referee?
We'll cover all the bases with that one.
And then we'll get Shaquille O'Neal and the Big Show involved.
Bring back Drew Carey.
There we go.
But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for this edition of Ringmasters. On that wonderful note,
On a cheery note.
a cheery note where I'm just fuming as all hell. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Remember, the Ringmasters podcast YouTube is up, and this episode will be going to YouTube just the same time as it goes to SoundCloud, iTunes, and cmlife.com. So be sure to go subscribe to the Ringmasters podcast YouTube channel. It is Ringmasters Podcast. And remember to follow me on Twitter at @szoomer4. Follow Chadd at the Chadd100. I remembered your Twitter username now because I had to put it in for YouTube constantly.
There we go.
So there, it took a while, but I finally remembered it. And follow the Ringmasters official Twitter at RingmastersPod. And yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in with us, and we will see you next time.